Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chaotic Little Book Corner. My name's Acacia. Today I'm going to be doing my May 2018 book haul. Quite a few books here. I'm sorry, there's like a stinger bug guy behind you. So I'm just like watching him, trying to figure out if I can catch him and like let him out or kill him or something to that effect. We'll see. All right, let's dive in. We've got a lot of books. The Age of Miracles by Karen Thompson Walker. This one is a dystopian apocalyptic novel, and it talks about the slowing, which is a expression for the world starts slowing and spinning in a different way, and everyone starts to run on either clock time or sun time, and the world just slowly begins to fall apart because of this. So I'm excited about that. Then we have Schwimmer Among the Stars by Kanishk Thoreau, and this one is one that I heard about one story, which is about the United Nations watching some global disasters happen, and I just am really excited to read that story at least, and I'm hoping that the other ones will be good as well. Then we have The Fairy Tale Museum by Susanna M. Smith, who wrote How the Blessed Live. And I am just really excited about this one. It looks really experimental, which could be fun, but I'm going to have to be in the mood for the experimental kind of style of it. But it looks like vignettes, so it's very little writing to a page, and some don't even look like they have that much at all. And there's art in there too. So we shall see how I feel about that. Then I ran into Liberty from Book Riot at print, and I asked her what the one book she said everyone should read is this year, and she said All the Names They Used for God by Angelia Sashvita, and I picked it up on her recommendation without really knowing anything about it and just trusting her and ready to see what that is. It's short stories, so I'm excited to dive into that. I'm in the midst of this. This is Not That Bad by Roxane Gay, Dispatches from Rape Culture, and this is an anthology of critical thinking and critiquing of rape culture and violence and harassment against women. It's a really valid book for the time period we're in with the Me Too movement. I'm really enjoying it. It's dark. It definitely has me thinking in some really intense ways, and I am really enjoying it. Then we have Junk by Tommy Pico. This is a single one long poem, and it is really, really interesting. I read it in one sitting, which I think is how it's meant to be read, and I gave it 3 stars upon reading it the first time. I felt held at a distance. I felt a little uncomfortable. I felt really kind of I couldn't connect with a couple of the things in it, and I didn't feel it. And then I heard Tommy do a reading when I went and saw him at print, and I got it, and it made so much more sense, and I can't wait to reread this and to revisit it with his voice in my head and the inflections in words that I think are much more needed to hear when I think this is a poem that needs to be read out loud, and I think I made the mistake of reading it to myself quietly in a car, and I don't think that's the way it should be read. I think it should be read out loud and with feeling. Then I picked up Louise O'Neill, The Surface Breaks, the little reimagining of The Little Mermaid. I've already read this. I really enjoyed it. I will be talking about this in my top 5 books of the month. I love Louise O'Neill regardless, like, of anything. I adore her. Absolutely adore her. And I'm just so happy to have read this and to have experienced it. It's just a feminist retelling of The Little Mermaid. That's what it is. And it's dark and it's twisted and it's very close to Hans Christian Andersen's original, and it's much more about that kind of feeling of wanting to take charge of one's own life, and it's just really beautiful, and I really enjoyed it. Then we have Our Kind of Cruelty by Arameti Hall. This is a stalker story about a man named Mike who is in love with a woman named V, and he is trying to get her back after their relationship ended due to a mistake he made, and it goes from there. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I was sent this one for review by FGS, and I will be doing a full in-depth review on that now that I've finished it. Finally hauling this. This is Robin by David Itzkoff, and this is a biography of Robin Williams. I've done a full in-depth review of it. I will link it in the cards. Mr. Flood's Last Resort by Jess Kidd. This is known as The Hoarder in the UK, and I think I like that title better than I like this title, but I still enjoyed the book immensely. I definitely liked the premise. It's about a young girl who is a caretaker, and she goes to take care of this man who is a hoarder, and her experience with him, and there's some magical realism in it, and some twists and turns along the way, a little bit of psychicness. It's just, it's different. It's very sweet. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Then I picked up The Road to Jonestown, Jim Jones and the People's Temple by Jeff Guin. He wrote Manson, which I really want to pick up because I'm very curious about Manson as well. I picked this up after watching Wild Wild Country, which was a documentary on Netflix about a cult that happened in Flint, Oregon, and I find cults really fascinating, so I am really intrigued to dive into this and to see what was happening in that situation. A Closed and Comet Orbit by Becky Chambers. The third one is coming out in July, and I figured if the third one is coming out, I should at least read the second one. So I picked it up, and I now have a copy of it, which is great. I haven't read it yet, but I plan to read it when I'm in the middle of a book slump, which might be soon, because I'm feeling a little book hangover from The Handmaid's Tale. Edinboro by Alexander Chee. I went to an event with him, and I got this and his essay collection, which I will show you in a moment, and I got them both signed. This one, he said, talks about the experience of living feeling like a monster, and especially after a traumatic event occurs to you and you internalize it and turn yourself into the evil that was in fact not your fault. So I'm just really excited to read that and to dive into that. And then his essay collection is How to Write an Autobiographical Novel, and this is fantastic. I definitely would recommend it, and I will be doing a full in-depth review of either this or Edinboro. I'm not sure which, but I have some footage of his reading of this that I took, and I will be adding that into my review. So that's exciting. Then we have The Language of Kindness, a Nurse's Story by Christy Watson. This one, so I was lucky, and this one arrived to the store damaged. There's damage up there in the corner. And so I got very lucky, and I got a discount on it. So yay, discount. I had pre-ordered this, and so when it came in, they were like, yep, we got a damaged copy. We'll give you a discount on it. Excellent. So this is a nonfiction about a woman who is a nurse, and that is all I know about it. I'm very excited to dive into that. Then I got all three of the Mad Adam trilogy, which I had read Oryx and Crake before and owned it, but I sold it and then I regretted it, so I picked it up again and then I reread it. So this is Oryx and Crake, The Year of the Flood, and Mad Adam, all by Margaret Atwood. I am in the midst of reading the trilogy and I am really enjoying it. R is for Rebel. This is a middle grade about a culture and society where a group of people in the government have come in and taken over a country, and they decide to round up all the kids and do a re-education act and re-educate the kids on how great they are and how they saved them from being heretics and all that good stuff. And it's about a little girl who is fighting back. So I really enjoyed it. There was a little bit of whitewashing to me that I kind of didn't love, but you'll see my thoughts in my May wrap-up, part 1. This is Inside Out by Joseph Osmundson. And this I also saw a reading of, and he did a brilliant reading where he just went through each, he didn't go through every single part of it, but he read for about 10 minutes and kind of jumped around within the reading, and it's just so raw and exquisite, and I so loved it, and I'm so excited to finally read it. And he wrote a nice long message in my book, which was great. Then I saw this on Epic Reads YouTube channel talking about feminist books. This is Blood, Water, Paint by Jo McCullough. And this is a story about a young girl who is raped, and then she prosecutes her rapist in a time when that is not done. And it's written all in verse. So I'm very excited about that. And then last but not least, I was sent this by the publisher, which is Counterpoint. This is The Wildlands by Abby Genai. This is fantastic. I loved it. I read the whole thing in about 2 days. It was great. I will be doing a full in-depth review of this, and it'll also be mentioned in my top 5 reads of the month. So that is great. All right, so that is all the books I've received or bought this month. I am very happy to share them with you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, click that subscribe button down below. Questions, comments, or quandaries, go ahead, comment in the comment box. I will see you all in my next video, and I'll talk to you then. Bye.